Greetings, this is the Crunchy Set, and today I'm doing a new what if titled What If Female Deku Was the Chelicerate from Subnautica Below Zero. Now, the artwork you see here is done by a brilliant animator, Arozura. I highly recommend you check out their content, it's pretty good. Now, to explain what's going to happen, what's in this what if. Okay, so Altera does exist in this universe, but instead of like exploration research, which is what they normally do, they also take the creatures from those planets and essentially try to turn them into weapons. So Chell, which is the name of the character you see right here, the name also belongs to Arozura, is going to be one of those experiments where they cross creatures' DNA with a human's DNA. So Chell is born in a Altera research facility. Oh yeah, and another thing, UA is a college in this one. So, Chell is born into the facility where they then eventually take her away to run tests on her, and these aren't just like average tests you do for an infant. No, these are like there are some like tests that you did for a normal infant, but then there are the others where like they would push her body's boundaries to the breaking point, and then eventually they would go beyond that. So essentially they do a repeat of these tests for about I'd say about 10 years. So she's about 10 years old in human years, and in this time they'd given her a few quirks as well. One of them is a quirk that essentially can turn her nails into like very sharp claws, and just a little thing about the chelicerate, they do have like inescapable jaws. Like if you're bitten by one of them, that good luck trying to get it off, because it's not letting go until it decides to, or it's taking your arm. So that's just okay. So I'm just going to cover her like basic abilities from when she was born. She has inescapable jaws. She's amphibious, but she mainly stays at around a height of, well, when she's an adult, she'll be about 7'10", but when she gets into the water, she can grow to about 100 meters in length. So once that, so now we've got that covered. They do these experiments until she's about 10 years old, when the pro heroes get a nod about what they're doing. Now the Altera base that Chell then is based in Japan. So they essentially, the pro heroes then break down the doors and arrest every scientist of Altera that are there. And as they're searching around, they find a massive water tank, like a massive one, like big enough to fit a full-grown chelicerate. As when they go to investigate it, Chell basically slams into it, just looking at them and analyzing them to see. Just analyzing them, you know how like an animal would its prey when it's hunting. She's basically doing that, and essentially the pro heroes then recover her tank and with her in it, as they then send her to Principal Nezu, who is just looking over was basically looking over, hold on, give me a minute. It was basically, looking over her files that they recovered from the Altera base, and noticed that they had given her that she was sort of like one of the many experiments Altera performed to create these hybrids. And okay, I'm sorry if I didn't cover this, but she looks exactly as you see in the picture. And while Nezu is looking over her file, she is basically like analyzing her tank and looking for a way to get out, since when she was in the Altera base, she couldn't get out because there were multiple armed guards, and the lid where the tank was basically electrified. It's like where it'd give her a little shock. It'd give her a shock every time she tried to get out. So, since the shock is off, she manages to get out of the tank and essentially slip out without Nezu noticing, but just before she can get out of the building, Aizawa catches her and wraps her up, with Chell proceeding to go into complete defensive mode, where she like elongates her claws and essentially raises the spines on her back in form of intimidation to get Aizawa to back down. And then when Aizawa tries to do something again, Nezu stops him, as Nezu does note that she is probably afraid, since this is a new environment, and since Aizawa tried to attack her, she's doing that in a form of intimidation to try to get him to back off. As Nezu would calmly approach her, she is just, her spines are still raised up, as once Nezu tries to get close enough, as he's stating that he is not going to hurt her, her spines essentially begin to lower down, as her claws then go back to being nails. As once that happens, she basically passes that out due to the exhaustion of keeping that display up, since she hasn't done it for that long. Since she hasn't done it for that long before. As Nezu then agrees to, Nezu states that he is going to be looking after her from now on. Now, at this point, Chell can't speak. Since she does know some Japanese, since she was in an Altera base, but she doesn't know how to speak it. So for the next couple years, Nezu will be teaching Chell from his home. He'll basically be teaching Chell for the next 8 years, and after this, Chell will be pretty smart, somewhere between Momo, Yaoyorozu, and Nezu smart. So, after those 8 years, Chell knows how to speak Japanese, English, and Mongolian. Why? Because Altera is going to be popping up quite a bit in this. So, once that is finished, after the 8 years, Nezu then suggests that Chell joins UA, to where Chell thinks over this and agrees to it. Where she would take the entrance exams and pass the written part of the exam with flying colors, and passing the physical exam with I'd say about 100 villain points and 30 hero points. And All Might would notice this and think about making her his successor. As once Chell is leaving, Uraraka, who she saved from a couple of the robots, thanked her, as Chell would respond with no problem, as she would then head back to Nezu's, where she would wait for her results to come in the mail. As the 2 weeks pass, she gets her acceptance letter into UA, where she is told that she got first place in the written portion of the exam, and that she got second in the physical exam, but overall she got first in the entrance exam, as All Might then says, "Welcome to your hero academy." As Chell's excited about this, so we then cut to next week, where she's getting ready to go to UA, as she then heads her way. But since I think Nezu lives quite close to UA, so she would get in the car with Nezu, as they'd both drive there. So Chell and Nezu would arrive pretty early, as she then then goes around looking for Class 1A, where she finds it, and just sits down at a desk and then falls asleep, as she notices Aizawa walking in. Now, once everybody's gone in, they all notice Chell just sleeping in at her desk, as they were wondering, is this the person who got first place on the entrance exam? As Bakugo would get pissed, finding out that somebody actually performed better in the entrance exam than he did. Now, since Chell got first place, Bakugo would have gotten second place. So he's quite angry about that and tries to attack Chell, but she heard this coming since she was sleeping with one eye open, because she's still quite paranoid since the 10 years of being experimented on by Altera. So the spines on her back do raise, but Nezu made sure that her uniform was specially made to allow the spines to move independently, so they don't get stuck in the clothing or tear the clothing. So her spines are up, and Bakugo is still then intimidated by this. So Chell then grabs Bakugo by the back of his head and just slams it into the desk, as she then states, "If you try to test me again, I will be sure to kill you the next time." as everybody is quite scared of Chell at this point. So, since another thing I forgot to mention, since Chell is technically a half of a chelicerate, she will have mating seasons. So, if you read the PDF on the chelicerate, it essentially states that some parts of their armor will shift to allow for the mating season to happen. So I'll say hers will probably be around a winter-ish time zone. So the plates on her armor are still in their original positions. So once everybody sat down and Aizawa then says the thing of, it took you 10 minutes to shut up, this is not good for hero course, blah blah blah. As then he says, alright, this is going to be a Quirk assessment test, everybody head down. As Araka then asks, what about orientation? As Aizawa says, this is my class, I can do whatever I want, so he then pulls out the gym uniforms from his sleeping bag and then says, put these on and head to the training area. As Chell then just stands up, walks over, grabs it, and then heads down there. With everybody just looking at her with surprise on how tall she actually is, which is about 7'10". Since I'm trying to come up with a way to make sure she is still quite large without making her about 100 meters constantly. So after that, after they get there, a lot of the people notice that Chell's uniforms have holes in the back of them. They ask why that. She then states that to let the spines that are on her back get out, so that she can raise them up whenever she is performing an intimidation display. As a lot of people agree to this, and Mineta is currently trying to perv on Chell and the girls in the changing rooms, with Chell then promptly telling Jiro to send her earphone jack through the hole in the wall, as it then hits Mineta in the eye. As everybody there thanks Chell and Jiro for doing that. And once they get out of their training field, Aizawa then asks Chell throws the ball to Chell, saying that you got first place in the entrance exam, so you throw the ball first. Well, your farthest length in middle school. And then Chell states that she never went to middle school, and everybody's surprised by this, as she then explained that she was homeschooled, so the furthest she threw a ball last time was about 100 meters. As then Aizawa then states, well, try throwing it again, but stay in the circle. So Chell throws it, and she gets about 800 meters. As then Bakugo would say, that's pathetic, let me try, as he then picks up a ball and then tosses it and only gets 700 meters, as Chell then says, really? This guy was second place to me? Really? As she then states, I would expect her, as she points towards Uraraka, stating, "I thought she would be in second place." And Bakugo is pissed by this, as before he could attack Chell, Arozura then wraps him up and nullifies his quirk. And then they continue with all the other parts of the quirk assessment, and Chell gets first place in everything apart from the side-to-side jump because of Mineta, and the speed test because of Tenya, and the long jump because of Uraraka, since she can float. And the ball throw, since Uraraka can float. So Chell overall gets I'd say about second place, and Bakugo gets third place. And Bakugo would be pissed stating that he lost to her again, referring to Chell. And at the bottom of it is, I'd probably have to say Invisible Girl. I'm sorry to all you Invisible Girl fans, but I can't keep expelling Mineta for each what if, so I'm going to need variety, so I'm sorry if you're a fan of her. So, Hagakure gets expelled, and everybody then continues with their day in class, and that is where I'm going to end it off. If you enjoyed this, please like, and if you enjoy my content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. So I'll see you guys next time.